We've worked obviously cleaning up on a couple setup things. His stance was a little bit too wide, but the big things that we worked on is one is a bit of an overswing, and you're going to see that a little bit more from down the line. But from face on, what we primarily worked on was making sure that his lead knee started to work properly. What you're going to see here is as we work off the golf ball, his lead knee would actually stay pointing out towards the target slash in front of the golf ball. From there, his hips had a hard time opening properly, and then he would actually actively pull his lead knee towards the target now to start into his transition phases. The issue is that that knee never actually worked back away from the target in the backswing. So what we're going to see is this really active pull of this lead hip, which would then pull his lead shoulder, which would now start getting, improper sequencing of how his body and his arms would work into the downswing. And we would see issues where his trail arm would get stuck back behind him. You can see it's right here. And then he would have to just massively try and throw the club and get the arms back down in front to be able to just connect to the golf ball, which of course would lead into big snap hooks if the arm would get trapped behind and the hands would flip over, or he would just hit a big block. Where we're at right now, on the right, you can see a much cleaner setup. We're going to see this lead knee work in and towards his trail leg as he works off the golf ball, clearing up proper hip turn. We eliminated that overswing. His arms are now in front of the body at the top of the backswing. And as he starts working into his downswing, this lead knee doesn't actively rip his body open. And so now his arms can get back down in front of his pivot as he's starting to work down through impact. Awesome work. Now, from down the line, we're going to see some alignment issues where his body was very much aligned open to the left. We've obviously cleaned that up. As he works off the golf ball, we're going to see that trickle effect of not being able to actually open up the hips properly. Going up to the top, the arms would then continue with too much momentum, too much energy up to the top. And here's where you're seeing that lead knee starting to pull the body towards the target while the arms are still trying to make their last little bit of backswing, which would just decouple and get his arms out of sync to his body, which then they would just start racing down and pulling the club from the top. You can see this trail arm here just massively back behind the body at this point in time. This would lead into those big blocks or those snap hooks. So what did we do for him? Well, just like I talked face on, we got the body to move properly. We cleaned up his pivot. We're going to see the arm action going up to the top where we're not carrying as much energy into the arms. So the club and the arms stay in front of the body, stay in front of the pivot. From here, you can see a much cleaner position of the hips with them actually opened and the lead knee is worked in towards. From here, the body starts shifting, but not from that lead knee pulling the body, but at proper recentering of the body, the arms start working down in front, and we get a very, very nice clean position where we can get the arms down and through impact and control that club face.